Good morning. Well, in this episode, we've finally made it truly onto the timber trail. Now, it'd be an understatement even for me to say this was the toughest cycling that I've ever done in my life. On this video, you're going to just ride along with me. You're going to listen to all my comments, my thoughts, my recommendations. You're going to see how I react to the scenery and my location. This was a particularly tough ride because of the weather, so please just take that into account. As much as I moaned about what I did, it was by far made worse by the weather and the huge storms that pushed their way through the centre of North Island that day, Friday the 13th. A day in 2026 I'll probably remember for the rest of my life. Anyway, come along for the journey. You're going to get it, warts and all. Plenty to see. Experience the technology problems that I suffered as a result of the weather and everything else. Anyway, just come along for the journey and I hope you enjoy. Ciao for now. Bye. Well, I've got a story to tell. And it's a follow-up from my last big blog. And it's about getting here. This old tractor thing, old logging tractor. It's all part of the journey. It was one of the core destinations, and I almost developed another regret from here. No more regrets, Wayne. Top of the big climb. Now I'm desperately looking for some place where I can just stop and rest, which is on this trail. And I might have to abandon at Camp Epic and stay there for the night because this is just bloody ridiculous. I've got to get some video of this. No one's going to believe where I'm at. Monster, downpours, tropical rainforest. I am absolutely to the bone, soaking. I'm short of water. Right, put steriliser on this and then get away. Right, I'll put a tiny bit of charge in this because I want you to see what I'm riding down in the middle of the timber trail on a bloody wet day. I don't know how long the battery will last for, but let's have a look. This is the good section. Well, the 360 camera massively flattens the landscape. This is nowhere near as flat as it looks. Listen to the bike squeaks for the downhill sections. Listen to my breathing and watch my slow going on the uphill, and you really get to understand what it feels like. Fish sliding round corners. Whoa, just came across this sucker. I'm going to see if there's any power in my 360, see if I can get this. Oh man! Please keep recording. there's many sections of this ride that are really hard going. It's either really steep like here, so it's unrideable, especially because the back wheel just won't get any traction. The ground is soft and like wet concrete, you just sink in and it saps you of energy. It's a really hard ride.
Hope we find some place to stay soon. Well, you're not going to believe it unless I stop and show you what I'm bloody cycling in. Dear God, I think I've upset somebody. I've got my top off because I'm going to wring the sucker out. I'm absolutely drenched. So I'm going to dry here, have a bite to eat, just give myself a chance to settle down, and then look at the hands. And then fight my way more so downhill towards Camp Epic. Now, my destination for Ongaroo tonight, I don't think I'm getting there. Not with this bloody weather and this scenery and this track. So I'll see if I can stay at Camp Epic, and I'll just lose the accommodation that I booked for tonight. C'est la vie, but this is tough enough. More than one way to get top up of water. Rainwater. Thunderstorm. And then I'm staying here for half an hour. Nutella and peanut butter and tortillas. I'm having lunch while the rain happens. I've got myself a bag full of tortillas and plenty of paste, and as you saw, I've got a whole load of water now. No rush to go anywhere just at the moment. See if this will actually blow over and get away from me. This is the downhill bit. The uphill was absolutely bloody murderous. And they've actually gravelled this track. The hut you'll see on the video, which is where I took some refuge to feed and get some water. Back along the track from that, it was just like slow setting concrete, great ruts and nastiness. I think I got an odd photo of it. Anyway, I've got about another 40 miles of this. I think that's enough. I think you get me drift. Hopefully it's recorded. Need to find some place dry. Ciao. Thunder. Wow, what a day. I'm a idiot. I totally underestimated this track. Massively so. It's a f***ing trial. Oh, I think I'm coming home. I can't do this. Well, I've just seen the sign for Camp Epic 5 kilometres away. Oh my God, how much do I need to actually stop and ride in now? This is the good bit of trail compared to the absolute horrendous stuff I've been on. I know at Camp Epic there's also a lodge. Now it's about $400 a night, but I don't give it. If they've got a room, I'm having it. Because I am absolutely, the hands are disgusting. God knows what my feet are like. It's been raining all day. Thunderstorms all around. I don't think I should have written that blog the other night because I think I've upset somebody. 5 kilometres, then I can stop. Thank God. I'm in the Timber Trail Lodge. They've been able to fit me in for tonight, and it's a lovely, comfy room. But hear the rain outside. Nothing to be seen, really. I could have been camping in Camp Epic. This was I don't care how much this room would have cost. They could have said it's $1 million for the night, Wayne, and you know what? I'd have paid. What a bloody crackers hardest cycle day ever today. I've asked him if I can stay for 2 days. They should be able to fit me in. They say I have no intention of going any further until I've recovered after today's and yesterday's absolute madness on a bike. There you go. You learn these things when you get here. You fall for the bloody sales spiel. When you're back home in England, you've got no idea that it's as bad as this. They always make it seem to be rather nice. But by God, it's hard work. Anyway, good night. We'll see you in the morning. Bye. And that's it. The Timber Trail Lodge is done. I've got 2 pack-ups for today. And so it's away down to, I can't pronounce it, Tamaruni, about 30 some miles away, but it's going to be stiff on the mountain track again. But at least I think it's going to be a nice day for cycling. Okay, we'll show you some video as I go. Ciao. My God, the gears still work. The bloody hands are still sore. I didn't go the right way this time, Mr. Tyson. You bloody idiot.
So why am I an idiot? Well, you'll remember from yesterday how I was spending some time sheltering from the rain in that hut, trying to dry myself out and have some food. Because of the rain, because of orientation, somehow I ended up going back down the track the way I came, for at least 45 minutes before I thought I've seen this before. And so I introduced about an extra 1.5 hours into the hardest day cycling ever. I told the folk at the Timber Trail Lodge what I'd done, and they said it was so unfunny, it was bloody hilarious. Yeah, I was born an idiot.
Well, one place, thankfully I didn't have to spend the night on Friday the 13th, but other than the lodge, it was the other place for me to be at, Camp Epic. I definitely had the better of the two options. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Sometimes you gotta pause and get your breath.
Because of the weather, the microphone on the camera failed, the 360 degree failed, I ended up with lots of shots pointing at the ground, and the exposure failed. Everything was just going really bad today.
Well, I sincerely hope this means that this is going to be a bit more like a railway gradient for the rest of the journey. I don't know what inclines trams used to use, but this might be where the better section of it starts. There we go. To a cycling, and is maybe a little bit less sure of themselves on a bike. This could be a bloody day. Give it ratings, you know, intermediate, etc. But no, in the weather that we've just had, highly recommended to don't do it. Wait until good weather, and then do it on a bloody e-bike. Slide. And I've said before, you come downhill at least 10 times faster than you go up. And in places like this, 9/10 of your day is uphill cycling and slow, with 1/10 of it fast and down. So what looks like a short day can turn into a bit of a monster. But hopefully all good now. The nearest I have had to what I did just back there over the last day and a half back home in England is when I attempted to cycle on the Pennine Way. Very similar. Took a day there to do about 22 miles, and it was just one day. So I was confident I could face something like what I've been through. But Friday the 13th and those thunderstorms and that state of emergency that's been called because it was that much, I wouldn't have even done the Pennine Way on a day like that, not a chance. By God, I'm in top cog for the first time in absolutely bloody miles. going to get this camera out of my vision. Don't want no accidents at this point in time. Down here the path is still muddy, part river, well, little stream really, but it makes it awfully greasy. Just got to get through it carefully.
My bike is a Surly Ogre and it's got zero suspension on it. The best I get is any relief from the 2.2 inch gravel tyres that I'm using. In about 3 seconds you're going to think, no shit Sherlock, but I would definitely recommend bikes with suspension on this route.
I have no mobile reception at all, but the satellite SOS is showing, and in this country you can send text via satellite, so I'm not too worried. I don't want to have, but if an accident did occur, I think I can still ask for help. The other advantage is I'm early on the track today, so there'll be people coming from the north coming south behind me, I guess. I won't be the first one on the track today, now that all the e-bikers went through early doors. But I don't think I'll end up being stuck without some assistance being around at some stage. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fucking pedals. Sidings. I don't think I'd ever find anything as bad as this in places back in the UK, and even if there were, I wouldn't ride it. Still got 16 miles to go. At probably 6 miles an hour at best. You do the math. $11:51. I should get to accommodation for about 5 o'clock then tonight, with about 10 miles on road at the end of this. Another decision point is approaching. Another fork in the road. Hey John, I found a turntable for you. I think this was number 10 camp. But I can't see down there. I think we're just riding in a cliff cut in here. Still the land is sliding away onto the track. I think rainforest, like I say, is probably the best words to use to describe this. My clothing was in a drying room for 2 days, and I think that the moisture, even in a hot room, was that high it really struggled to dry out. So mildly moist, yeah, that's what today is, mildly moist. The things people did to get access to the wood here in May. I'm still suffering, I think, with something like a cold. I've got a bit of a sore throat. I don't feel bad. I was a bit kind of coughy last night, but I don't feel breathless or anything bad. So hopefully in a day or three it'll blow over. Probably got something on the bloody aircraft coming in. Good old COVID methods of spreading germs, bloody aircraft. It should have been the first thing they grounded completely when they knew that the COVID virus was out and about. Stop all international travel, all. Can it? Nope, they didn't. Tried to quarantine. Tried to trust the people. Fucking idiots, and I thought I was an idiot. I'm honestly expecting any minute to hear bloody dinosaurs. Turbulent water, there's probably another bridge coming up. Way down there. Up here too, funny enough. Oh. There you go. First time you get an idea about where I am and how high I am. For me, it's the one thing that zaps me of energy is not drinking enough. If I get water inside me, I'm not too bad. That's why I carry about a gallon of it on the bike. One of the old timbers, maybe from the old bridge. Deep bloody puddles. You just don't know how deep. There was two accidents yesterday while I was in camp. One woman fell off her bike and broke her ribs. Another woman fell and broke her wrist. And the culprit for sure for one of them was a puddle just like that. But it was bloody deep, and she totally buried the front wheel into it and went over the bars and broke her ribs. So you gotta be careful. So that's it, that's the timber trail now done. I'm back on road after about 5 days. So I'm going to plan routes now to get myself down to Whanganui, down on the coast on the straight route which basically follows the river. And that'll be another chunk completed. Then in for Wellington. Anyway, let's see what that plan looks like when I get there. See you in a bit. I'm going to believe this, I'm going into a McDonald's. I'm desperate.